We are ready to kick off Memorial Day weekend in grand style. The Cubs and the Cardinals for the first time here in 2010. It's a sunny and windy day on the north side. And we see a little Cardinal red, but a lot of Cubby blue here at Wrigley Field. It's the Hyundai leadoff man on WGN Sports before Game 1 of this holiday weekend series. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the Hyundai leadoff man. The Cardinals just finished a series in San Diego. They arrived at their hotel at 3 a.m. this morning, so hopefully the Cubs can jump on them. Wind blowing in. We might see a very similar game to the one we saw yesterday against the Dodgers. Let's check out the highlights. It was the rubber game. Another nice day here at the ballpark. 66 degrees, wind coming in out of the north, and it was a pitcher's duel throughout. Ted Lilly got a no decision, but arguably his best outing of the season, as he struck out 5 and walked 3, but those all came in the same inning. 7 scoreless innings for Ted Lilly as he battled rookie right-hander John Eli from Harvey, Illinois, and the Homewood Flossmoor product in his Wrigley Field debut, also dazzling as he went into the 8th inning. Also great defense, robbing Starlin Castro of a base hit. The only run of the game came in the 8th inning. 2 guys who did not start the game teamed up. Fontenot with a triple, Colvin with a double to knock him in. 1-0 as we went to the 9th. And then Carlos Marmol took over. He is starting to become maybe the most dominant 9th inning man in baseball. He strikes out 3, including veterans Manny Ramirez and Garrett Anderson to end it. Cubs win 1-0 the final. Sean Marshall got the win. He is now 5-0 in the month of May out of the bullpen. So only 9 hits combined, and we may see a similar type game here today. You have Randy Wells for the Cubs, Chris Carpenter for the Cardinals. So every little thing counts, and the Cardinals coming in, they won yesterday, but they're just 9-13 over their last 22. The Cubs have taken 8 of 11. We'll take a break, but as we go to break on the Hyundai leadoff man, our Hyundai dealer of the game, Happy Hyundai in Oak Lawn, Illinois. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. The Hyundai leadoff man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs, and by your Chicago Hyundai dealers. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. A huge soccer fan. Carlos, by the way, went to the hospital yesterday with appendicitis-like symptoms, but he's fine with the abdominal pain, and he is available out of the bullpen today. Let's check in on the Cubs minor league report. Chad Tracy continues to hit at AAA Iowa, .458 since he was sent down. A 5-game hitting streak for Ty Wright at AA Tennessee, and Michael Brenly, 3 for his last 7. Rafael Dolis got the win for the Daytona Cubs. These games are always important when the Cardinals come to town. After these 3, the final 12 games of the season series will be played after the All-Star break, and both the Cardinals and Cubs right now are chasing the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds a game up on St. Louis. The Cubs are 5 back, but it's, again, still a long way to go. Cincinnati's hosting Houston this weekend. Right-hander Sam LeCure will make his major league debut for the Reds tonight. He is in the rotation for right-hander Homer Bailey. And time now for Bob's AutoZone tip of the day. It's all about starting the weekend off right. The holiday weekend, Memorial Day coming up on Monday. Gotta beat the Cardinals. That'd be a good way to start this weekend. The tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. Experts are raving about it. MyHyundaiChicago.com. Cubs and Cards. The Cubs need to improve against their own division. Right now, 9-12 against the Central. And again, this is the first time they've seen St. Louis here in 2010. Let's look in on a great pitching matchup today. A couple of right-handers. Randy Wells, who grew up in the St. Louis area, Belleville, Illinois. And he's looking for his first win since April 30th. Excellent in a no decision on Saturday at Texas. Chris Carpenter, very good numbers here at Wrigley Field. 5-1 this season through 10 starts. He has allowed 9 home runs on the year, but that might not be a problem with a wind blowing in. Cubs and Cards coming up next. are live at Wrigley Field for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. The Cardinals are finally here for the first time in 2010 as we start Memorial Day weekend. It's game one of this weekend set, Cardinals and Cubs. We welcome in Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. The wind is blowing in once again. We'll talk about who that might benefit a little later, but the Cubs, as the competition has gotten more difficult, have played better baseball.
It's kind of hard to figure out, Len. The Cubs went through their quote-unquote easy part of the schedule and really struggled against teams that were under 500 last year, but more recently, starting with the Colorado series, the Cubs have been really good. Took 2 out of 2 from the Rockies. They split with the National League champions from last year, the Philadelphia Phillies, and then took 2 out of 3 from Texas and the Dodgers, 2 teams that were playing extremely well before the Cubs got to them.
And the pitching gets a lot better against the Cubs. We just saw the Dodgers. The Cardinals are now here. They have the second best ERA in the major leagues, under 3 in fact. And it'll be Chris Carpenter for them. More on him in a second. Randy Wells, trying to get his first win in a while, but he was really good on Saturday.
Yeah, he pitched into the 9th inning and only threw 105 pitches in 8 1/3, but under the hot, humid conditions in Texas, Lou got him out of there in a 3-3 tie. Ultimately, the Cubs won the ball game 5-4, but Randy had to really feel good about that outing.
Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright were in that Cy Young mix really all year last year. We'll see Wainwright on Sunday. Carpenter today has given up the home run ball this year.
Yeah, 9 homers this year, and he gave up 7 all last season in 192 innings. He's had a couple of bad games early. He's been very inconsistent, and that's not something you expect from Chris Carpenter.
I think a big focus in this series starting, it's going to be Aramis Ramirez. He's back in the lineup for the first time in almost a week. Off to a very slow start. Maybe the time off mentally will help him as much as physically.
I'm sure that Lou and Rudy Jaramillo are hoping that's the case with Aramis Ramirez. He took BP before the ball game today, and he looked okay.
All right, let's send it down to the field as we get set for baseball.
Right-hander number 36, Randy Wells. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all please rise, kindly remove your caps, and direct your attention once again to the playing field as the USO of Illinois and the Chicago Cubs welcome a very special guest to Wrigley Field. Major Lenny Williams is a battalion's operations officer for the 122nd Field Artillery, 33rd Brigade, Illinois Army National Guard. He is a company commander who took 216 soldiers overseas to Afghanistan with 19 years of service. Williams' unit was split into 32 different forwarding operating bases into small policeman teams all over Afghanistan. Major Williams earned a Bronze Star for his tour in Afghanistan and is also a Combat Action Badge recipient. Unfortunately, he lost 4 soldiers in the theater, so he's very grateful to be here today to represent his fellow soldiers. The Chicago Cubs would like to take this moment to thank Major Kenny Williams and every serviceman and woman for their courage and sacrifice defending this great country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and join Chicago favorite Wayne Messmer, accompanied by Gary Presley at the Lowry organ, as they honor the United States by performing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Well, we're about 2 months in, but in a lot of ways, you feel like the season starts today. The Cardinals and the Cubs coming up. The 9 they played in St. Louis. We will not even go to St. Louis until mid-August. Very quirky schedule here.
It's not all bad.
Now the Cardinals lineup, they are working on very little sleep after a late night flight from San Diego. Felipe Lopez is in there. David Freese, who's had a fantastic year, getting the day off. Ludwig in right. Pujols with his first home run in a while yesterday. Matt Holliday cleaning up. Colby Rasmussen center. Yadier Molina, the catcher, hitting sixth. You have Skip Schumacher and Brendan Ryan making up the double play combo with Chris Carpenter batting ninth.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively today. Behind Randy Wells, brought to you by Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Soriano, Bird, Fukudome across the outfield. Good to see Aramis Ramirez back in the lineup at third base. Hopefully the couple days off will get that bat rolling. Starlin Castro and Ryan Theriot up the middle of the field. Derek Lee over at first base. Giovanni Soto doing the catching today for right-hander Randy Wells. Mentioned his last time out against the Texas Rangers, 8 1/3, gave up 7 hits and 3 earned runs in that ball game. He left when it was a 3-3 tie. The Cubs ultimately came back to win that one in 10 innings, 5-4.
Set the umpires for you. The crew chief is Mike Winters. He's behind the plate, and he winters in California. And his earliest baseball memory was watching the Cardinals and Tigers in the 1968 World Series. One 0 yesterday as the Cubs beat the Dodgers to take that series 2 of 3. Very similar weather conditions today, and here we go as Randy Wells steals ball 1 to switch hitting Felipe Lopez. That caught the outside corner on a sinking fastball at 88. The Cardinals have a new hitting coach, Mark McGwire. They have struggled lately here to score runs. They had a good game yesterday, but they ranked just 12th in the entire league in runs as Lopez starts the game with a single to left center. That'll bring up Ryan Ludwig. Bob, he used to be the protection for Albert Pujols, but now it's Matt Holliday.
And it could be argued that Ludwig offered better protection just based on the numbers that Albert has been able to put up in his career and this season.
Ludwig pops it up. On a normal day, that's an easy out, but not today. 67 degrees as we check in on our Chrysler game forecast. The wind out of the north at 15 miles an hour. Not a cloud to be found in the area. And it's brought to you by Chrysler. For more information on our vehicle lineup, log on to Chrysler.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Chrysler dealer today. Last year, Ryan Ludwig hit .377 against the Cubs. He had 20 hits in just 13 games. And that's going to be fair into the left field corner. And Lopez on his way to third. Ludwig will have an easy double. It's not how Randy Wells wanted to start, especially with Big Albert coming up.
Talk about this Cardinals team working on very little sleep today. That's a changeup right in the middle of the plate for Ludwig, and he spanked it down into the left field corner for extra bases. It's been my experience in this game, both personally and as a coach and a manager, that a lot of times when guys are operating on little sleep, it's when they play their best games because they don't think as much. Yeah, you're just playing on instincts and reaction. You tend to not clutter your mind with a lot of excess thoughts.
Here's a three-time MVP who waves at strike one. He's really not been the same guy at the plate lately, although he had a big game yesterday. His second homer of the month. His first RBIs in 12 games as the Cardinals avoided the sweep. That was his longest RBI drought, 11 games. Tony La Russa in his 15th year as a Cardinal manager. Franchise record wins. And a base hit. They're going to get two. So three batters into the game. The Cardinals lead 2-0. Well, that didn't take long.
Well, they're not letting Randy Wells get comfortable out there on the mound whatsoever. You see where Gio was set up. That pitch was on the outer third of the plate. They wanted it way away. You had a base open there with Pujols at the plate ahead in the count. You really had an opportunity to try to get him to chase something out of the zone, but Randy made another mistake here in the first inning, and it cost him.
So Randy has made 9 pitches, has not recorded an out, and it's 2-0. Ball one inside to Matt Holliday. Signed a huge 7-year contract to return to St. Louis with $120 million. That's a strike on the outer third. 2-1.
Holliday's numbers are respectable at best on the surface, but you look a little deeper and he just has not been getting it done with runners in scoring position, batting only 190 in those situations this year. Not the kind of production you want to see from your cleanup hitter.
The Cardinals by and large have done it with their pitching, although they've got some issues which we can talk more in depth about. And Chris Carpenter's on the mound. 2 starters are on the DL. One of them, Kyle Loesch, scheduled to have surgery today on his right forearm, and they don't know how long he's going to be out. Brad Penny also on the shelf. Another base hit. This one rolled into right, and Pujols will make the turn and easily get to third. Four straight hits to begin the game against Randy Wells. This is somewhat reminiscent of his start in Pittsburgh.
Now, not a poor pitch that time. Cut fastball on the outside part of the plate, maybe even off of the outside corner. Holiday just dribbled it through that right side for a base hit, and good base running that time by Pujols to go first to third.
Left-hander James Russell is up quickly in the bullpen. Randy gave up 5 runs in the first inning at Pittsburgh on May 6th in an 11-1 loss. Only just 2 innings in that game. Base hit number 5. This time it's Colby Rasmus. Pujols is in. We're going to see a trip to the mound from the acting pitching coach today, Lester Strode, normally the bullpen coach. Larry Rothschild away from the team just for today because of a family graduation. He'll be back tomorrow. And all kinds of trouble for Randy Wells.
And this meeting has a couple of different reasons. Number one, it gives James Russell a chance to get a few more pitches down in that bullpen just in case you have to pull the plug on Randy Wells here early. And number two, just to try to slow down the momentum of this Cardinals offense. It's been a cha-cha line up there to the plate. There's 5 guys safely reaching base on clean base hits.
There's Yadier Molina, who started his career known basically as a great defensive catcher, but had some issues offensively. But he has really improved a lot at the plate. He hit .216 in 2006. Another hit. And at least one more is in. Jose Oquendo is going to send Rasmus. And Molina has a 2-run double. 6 consecutive hits and 5 runs with still nobody out.
Well, and obviously not the kind of start you want to get off to with Chris Carpenter on the mound for the Cardinals today. Usually very stingy giving up runs, and he's going to love taking the mound today with his team spotting him this early, at least 5-run lead.
Well, I don't even have to look. The shortest outing of Randy Wells' career fails to get an out. And here comes James Russell in the first. 5-0 Cardinals. hits and 5 runs before being replaced by left-hander James Russell. Just trying to get an out as he faces Skip Schumacher, the 7th batter for the Cardinals. Yadier Molina is at second. Fouled back. Strike 1.
James Russell has pitched 2 innings 3 different times this year, including a couple of days ago against the Dodgers. I don't know if the Cubs would be willing to extend him much more than that. Right now they just want to get out of the first inning.
Carlos Zambrano, even though he went to the hospital for tests with stomach issues yesterday, he's fine and is available today. I'm not sure how long the Cubs can use him, but he did throw a simulated game and threw over 70 pitches on Monday. So I have a feeling he's going to get some work today. Although everything I had heard, Bob, is that they were going to use him short in this series before putting him back into the rotation on the next road trip. So we'll see.
Carlos's role since going to the bullpen has been very nebulous to begin with.
Well, the bat went flying into the stands. A ball rolled out to Terrio, who gets the out. Just hope all the fans are all right. And finally, the first out is recorded.
Good news on 2 fronts. Cubs get an out finally. And Schumacher's bat flew up into the stands at very dangerous pointed end, whirly birding up there into the stands. Unfortunately, it landed in an area where there were a couple of empty seats. I don't think it hit anybody. Thank goodness.
So I think Randy Wells is a little shell-shocked. On the play, Molina moved to third. The cornermen are in against Brendan Ryan, who hits a high pop fly that's not going to get Molina in. Soriano is in and makes the catch. He did catch it. He did catch it. He dropped it while he was pulling the ball out of his glove. Call made by Mike Estabrook, the second base umpire.
Ooh. Now, really no reason to hurry on this play. He clearly has it. Molina's not going to try to score when that ball's only about 130 feet from home plate. And Soriano clearly had control of that fly ball before he reached into the glove and couldn't find the handle.
Are you sure?
That's what
the umpire said.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Cubs got a little bit of a break. They'll take anything they can get right now, as Chris Carpenter flies out to Fukudome. The Cardinals get 5. The Cubs are coming up. The catcher. Castro hits 8, and now James Russell in that lineup.
Quick look at the Cardinals defensively. Holiday, Rasmussen, Ludwig across the outfield. Lopez, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols across the infield. Best in the business behind the plate, Yadier Molina. Thrown out 50% of the runners attempting to steal on him this year. Most teams don't even try, and he'll be catching pitches from right-hander Chris Carpenter.
6'6", 230. 35 years old. And Kosuke Fukudome greets him with a base hit. I was talking with Tim McCarver, who is going to call the game tomorrow on Fox, and we were talking about the 23-22 game that he participated in as a member of the Phillies back in 1979. Said it was 7-6 after 1. Well, just maybe. Might have that kind of day. The conditions don't speak to that, however, but yeah, the Cardinals strung together 6 consecutive hits to get their 5 runs.
That's the key on a day like this at Wrigley Field. You need to string together a lot of offense, some walks, maybe a hit batter or 2, base hit here, base hit there. You don't figure to be able to jump back into this game quickly with the long ball because of the wind blowing straight in from center field today.
Cardinals pitching staff extremely stingy this year. Another base hit. 2 on, nobody out. 8 hits combined. We've only seen 3 outs recorded. Maybe it's also a function of the weather conditions and the pitchers just laying it in there going, here, hit it.
That could be. I mean, Carpenter's only thrown a few pitches here, but he makes some mistakes. That pitch is belt high over the outer part of the plate, giving Theriot that patented inside out swing to right field for a base hit. Now that wind occasionally can give you a false sense of security. Another very hittable pitch there to Derek Lee on the first offering. You feel that wind blowing down your neck as a pitcher. You see those flags out in center field cracking in the wind the way they are today, and you think, well, geez, I don't have to be nearly as fine as I usually try to be. And that's when you end up giving up a bunch of base hits.
Derek has seen his average go up 30 points. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Over his last 4 games, 8 hits. Still well below where he'd like to be, but a lot better than the 216 he was sporting a few days ago.
Now Chris Carpenter's a 4-pitch guy, fast curve, slider, change. Usually he starts the game with one breaking ball or the other, and then gradually works the other one in as you get deeper and deeper into the ball game. So far he's been using his slider as his breaking pitch here in the early going.
2-2. Carpenter won the National League Cy Young Award in 2005. He's been an All-Star a couple of times. He's from Manchester, New Hampshire. He's dealt with all kinds of arm problems in his career. Elbow surgery in November of 2008, and was the comeback player of the year in the National League last season. He won 17 games and led the league in ERA. And he's a big-time competitor. I don't think there's any question about that. Not afraid to stare down some people if needed. Not afraid to work inside either. Right on cue.
I think Chris Carpenter knows how to work inside. Some pitchers try to go inside on hitters and either plunk them or leave the pitch over the big part of the plate where it gets hit.
Runners go on the 3-2. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play. So Molina now better than 50% on the year. And that was almost a gimme for a guy with his arm to get Fukudome. He was just running with the pitch. It's not a straight steal.
Even a little more deliberate than normal because he knew he had all the time in the world to get Fukudome at third base. Molina clears the hitter. Derek Lee goes behind, and Lopez has something waiting for Fukudome there at third base.
Terrio will not get a stolen base because Fukudome was thrown out. So now 2 down, and here's Aramis. Back from the left thumb injury. Missed 6 starts over a 7-game span. And his last start was probably the worst game of his life. He was a DH in Texas. He went 0 for 5 with his first career 4-strikeout game. You know how you watch things and you say to yourself without looking, I've never seen that happen before, and sure enough, it had never happened before. He'll have good weeks when he doesn't strike out 4 times and gets 35 at bats. 1-2.
Well, for what it's worth, and this is just my own personal opinion, I really think Aramis should go on the disabled list. And I know the Cubs know his medical history. They observe him every day. They examine that thumb. But coupled with his struggles at the plate, and the fact that Chad Tracy's hitting nearly 460 down at the AAA level, it seems like a logical time to DL Aramis, give him some time to get that thumb 100%, and ideally get some extra time in the cage, in the video room, whatever is necessary to find the stroke that Aramis Ramirez has featured throughout his career.
He has not been the same guy really all year that we're used to seeing. Tapper foul. Played about a half a year last year because of the shoulder injury, but when he played, he was Aramis Ramirez, all-star caliber third baseman. The 2-2 is low. It's full with Soriano on deck.
You know, Len, just watching the way Molina has been moving behind the plate for Chris Carpenter, he hasn't hit his spot very often here in the first inning. Obviously, Randy Wells did not have his A game today, and it looks like in the early going here, Chris Carpenter doesn't have his A game either.
Takes it just off the plate outside and will look like a slider. Ball 4 to keep the inning alive. Let's check out who's moving forward with Toyota. Highest career average against Chris Carpenter among active players in the NL. Only Mike Lamb with a higher average than Alfonso Soriano. Derek Lee on that list as well. Toyota and your local Toyota dealers. Official partner of the Chicago Cubs. Curveball strike to Soriano. And Derek Lee sitting 1 homer away from 300 in their respective careers. One ball, 1 strike. Alfonso reached the 200 homer, 200 stolen base career mark faster than any player in history. 929 games he was at both. Rasmussen center makes the catch. They let Carpenter off the hook in the first. 3 guys reached. Nobody scores. It's 5-0 Cardinals.
Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs lapel pin, compliments of Bank of America.
Well, Lopez led off the first. He was batting lefty against Randy Wells. He singled and would later score on the Albert Pujols 2-run single. As the Cardinals got 5, the Cubs had some chances. They put the first 2 on, but did not get a run against Chris Carpenter. So it's James Russell who settled things down in the top of the first. A 1-1 count to Lopez. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Tony La Russa giving David Freese the day off. And so far it has worked out to the Cardinals' advantage. So Tony's hoping he doesn't have to use Freese at all in this one, as Fukudome makes a catch.
Put Freese in the deep freeze. Well, hopefully James Russell will be able to have a quick pitch inning here. I mean, these are always tough games for a manager, a pitching coach, and a pitching staff when your starter gets blown up as early as Randy Wells did today. Got to figure out a way to patch it together as best possible. Cubs don't really have a legitimate, what you would consider a long guy. Zambrano, as you said, probably the most likely guy to be able to come in out of that bullpen and give you 3 or 4 innings. And lacking that, you're just going to have to piece it together an inning or 2 at a time with everybody down there.
If you're wondering how often does a Cubs starter not get an out, well, not very often. Jeremy Gonzalez was the last back in 1998. So it had been 12 years between starts like the one Randy Wells had today. As Lee catches it in foul ground, Ludwig fouls out. 5 straight retired by James Russell. We are email accessible at LennonBob@Tribune.com. You can follow us on Twitter.com/LennonBob as well. Bob, this is a question for you from Kyle Bicking. Notice that Gio doesn't keep his right hand behind his back very often. Now he is now with nobody on. Tell us the difference with runners on base and what catchers are taught to do with that throwing hand.
Well, obviously with the runner on base, there's always a threat of a steal, so you want to get your throwing hand as close to your mitt as you can, so after receiving the pitch you can quickly make that exchange into your throwing hand. With nobody on base, you want to protect yourself as best as possible, so after giving the sign, he usually tucks that right hand behind his right heel to get it out of harm's way. And I was taught very early on in my catching career, you don't really make a traditional fist. You don't want to squeeze your hand and have all that tension in your hand. That's when you have a better chance of getting a broken bone if you do happen to get hit with a foul tip. The idea is to lay your thumb in the palm of your hand and wrap your fingers gently around your thumb, so there are no exposed parts that could possibly get hit and maybe break a bone.
That's good stuff. Well, you young catchers out there. Well, now runner on. We'll see if anything changes here for Gio after the 2-out walk to Pujols. It's Matt Holliday.
You want to keep that throwing hand somewhere in the vicinity. You usually start out with the throwing hand right behind the mitt, but then as the pitch is delivered, it's not uncommon for the catchers to break the hand away from the mitt just a little bit.
A pop-up that's going to be pushed out of play by the wind. How many broken fingers did you suffer throughout your pro career?
Just one, amazingly enough, only one time. Took a foul tip off of the knuckle on my index finger and popped a bone out further back, closer to my wrist. That did not feel good. I can tell you how stupid I was. The team golf tournament was the next day in spring training, and I was the defending champion. And I had to play golf, so I went out and golfed with a cracked bone in my hand, and then I figured, well, geez, if I can play golf on the off day, I've got to be able to catch the next day. So went back behind the plate the next day, finished up spring training, and right on into the season. It eventually healed. That was when I was a lot younger. My priorities were a lot different. That was also back in the day when borderline players tended to stay out of the training room.
Oh, sure.
Even if they knew they had serious injuries, you didn't want to let the team know it.
Almost decapitated James Russell, as Holiday is 2 for 2. You know, I mentioned this on the blog, Bob, and sometimes we're just guessing, but I said the timing of this series concerned me. The Cubs went into Texas. The Rangers were one of the hottest teams in baseball. Cubs won 2 of 3. Same against the Dodgers going into this homestand. You can check out our baseball blog on WGNTV.com. The Cardinals had lost 13 of their last 22. As you know, the cycles of baseball tell you that the hot teams eventually cool off. The cold teams, especially the ones who are generally good, are eventually going to get out of their slump. And they started to show signs yesterday in San Diego. Yes, it matters who you play, but as important, when you play them.
No question about it. We were down in Lou's office earlier this morning talking about some of the games that we had both seen recently from the Cardinals' West Coast trip, and they were making a lot of the mistakes that the Cubs made earlier this season, falling into that category of trying to do too much. A lot of base running mistakes, some defensive mistakes, and at some point every team settles in and realizes, hey, we just need to play the game the right way. If everybody just does what they're capable of doing, that'll be good enough. And I agree. I never liked to play a team that came into town struggling, especially if they were much better on paper than they were playing on the field at that particular time.
Yeah, first or second place teams that aren't playing well, you know that they're about ready to bust out 5 out of 6. And the Cardinals certainly played like that here in the first 2 innings, but a long way to go. Swing and a miss. James Russell doing a nice job. 2 scoreless innings. It is still 5-0 St. Louis. Bird fists it foul. As we check in on today's improvement from Menards. The Cubs outfielders have been excellent this year. For all your home improvement needs, shop and save big money at Menards. And there are 5 guys who lose trying to get playing time for. Xavier Nady starting to heat up. Tyler Colvin with the game-winning hit yesterday. And then you have the 3 guys who play the most, Bird, Soriano, and Fukudome, all off to good starts. Your corner guys in particular, but in this day and age, even your center fielder, you got to hit, you got to produce at the plate. Swing and a miss. Plan your next corporate function or family gathering in the comfort of the Wrigley Field Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments. Suites are available now for games during the season. To book your suite or for more information, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. I should follow up on your broken knuckle and golf story. Did you fare well in the golf tournament?
Oh yeah, 2-time champ. I mean, it was a team deal, but my team won the year before, and I dragged my broken hand out there to play the next year just to defend the title, and we won it again.
Well, that's nice to know.
I used the word nebulous earlier. Well, the rules that we played by in the team tournament were very nebulous as well.
Soto bounced that one off his front foot, it looked like. Nice courtesy as Yadier Molina walked out in front of home plate to give his colleague a little extra time.
Not unusual to see catchers do that. It's a little unusual to see it be so obvious as Yadier Molina. He actually walked out in front of home plate and turned and faced Giovanni Soto and waited till he was ready.
Well, they were teammates, weren't they, in the World Baseball Classic last year?
In Puerto Rico.
Yep. You said the Cardinals and Cubs hate each other. Well, they do in some ways, but the catchers are a fraternity too. As Soto singles, well, the Cubs keep putting the leadoff man on. They've done it in the first 2 innings. See if they can come through at the bottom of the order here in the second.
No trainer can do what that pitch just did for Giovanni Soto. That foot, I'm sure, is barking, but that base hit to left field made it feel a lot better.
Little brain cramp. I forgot Marlon Byrd struck out. Wishful thinking. Well, the Cubs have put the second guy in each inning on. We just tailor it to
spin it.
Starlin Castro hit the ball hard a couple of times yesterday. That curveball went right over his head, but he was not rewarded. And he is 0 for his last 15. Ooh, how did that miss him?
I don't know. That's what a 20-year-old body will do for you. Enable you to go from an upright stance in the batter's box to a catcher's stance in the time it takes a ball to get from the mound to home plate. And unfortunately, that's what Starlin Castro right there is going to see a lot of in the very near future. I was talking to Rudy Jaramillo about Castro's struggles recently, last night notwithstanding. As you said, he hit the ball very hard, but Rudy said, you know, the advanced scouts are catching up. He's starting to see a lot more breaking balls, a lot more off-speed pitches. There's one right there.
They have to hurry here. They get 1, but not 2.
And that's not to say that Starlin can't make an adjustment and drive some off-speed pitches to the opposite field and force teams to start throwing in fastballs again, but he's going to have to start putting that breaking ball in play with authority or taking the bad ones out of the strike zone.
First career plate appearance for James Russell, the son of former Major League closer Jeff Russell. called strike. The goal is to win this game. However, James Russell has already earned a lot of bonus points from his manager for stopping the bleeding in the first inning. There are a lot of relief pitchers who don't even go to the bullpen for the first couple of innings. He not only had to warm up but come in to pitch before an out was recorded.
And James Russell, being the low man on the totem pole seniority wise, catches the celebrity honorary first pitch of every ball game. We probably didn't think he'd be back on the field so quickly. Yeah, we don't know anything about James Russell as a hitter, but he sure looks like he knows what he's doing up there at the plate.
Carpenter's 2-2. High chopper right side. Schumacher with a short throw, and that's the inning. 3 hits for the Cubs over 2, but no runs. They trail 5-0.
The game. That's Kate Miller-Heidke with "I Like You Better When You're Not Around." Cub fans feel that way about Cardinal fans. Budweiser, it's what we do.
Is that off your iPod?
Yeah, it is, as a matter of fact. I was listening to NPR radio not too long ago, and they featured Kate Miller-Heidke, and very quirky, kind of Cyndi Lauper-ish. Very interesting lyrics.
I'm sure there are a lot of people celebrating anniversaries who might be using that song at some point. 1-1 on Yadier Molina. If Russell gets an out here in the third inning, it'll be the longest appearance of his career. He has gone 2 innings 3 times this season. A fly ball to left. Soriano with the flip downs. Hey, Cub fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. You'll find great seats and great service on StubHub all season. So go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Skip Schumacher in his second year as a second baseman as he converted from the outfield. Average at 249, but last year he hit 300 for the third consecutive year. Pretty good chance if he makes contact he'll hit a ground ball. It's a lot of ground balls. 3 out of every 4 balls he puts in play are on the ground. That's a nice hat right there. But he doesn't hit a ground ball. Instead, he hits a line drive to center. 2 down in the inning. Interesting controversy yesterday as Casey Blake of the Dodgers accused Ted Lilly of cheating. His left foot was apparently not on the pitching rubber, and interestingly enough, and I would say coincidentally, last night in Baltimore, Brad Bergeson was asked and, well, told by the umpires to keep his foot on the rubber. I guess he had made a few pitches with the back foot not making contact with the rubber.
It used to be a lot more common for pitchers to try to get away with that than it is nowadays. I think partially because every game is on television and see replays. It was highly common for pitchers to try to cheat up a few inches.
What is it? I like you better when
you're not around.
When you're not around. A love song as we go to break. 5-0 Cardinals. Underway here in the bottom of the third, top of the order for the Cubs. It'll be a good look for you, Bob.
I wish I had my hair like that.
And Kosuke is 2 for 2.
I had that Farrah Fawcett look to it. Maybe that's one of Charlie's angels. Good Dave Frikoske, who came into this ball game hitless against Chris Carpenter in his career. Fukudome before today had been 0 for 10 against the Cardinals right-hander. 2 for 2 here today.
Ontario singled in the first. Carpenter has a sign from Molina and a fastball on the outside corner. This is the latest calendar date the Cubs have met the Cardinals for the first time in a season in 11 years. Already seen the Pirates a couple of times, Milwaukee, Cincinnati. I think most people would like to see most of the Cardinal Cub matchups in the second half, assuming that these games will have a lot of meaning in August and September. Kick in the 0-2 in the dirt. But if I had told you before the season that essentially 2 months in, neither of these teams would be in first place, I think you would have been pretty surprised. The Cincinnati Reds lead the way. Ontario shaking it off. He bounced that off his front foot. Still 1-2.
If you look at the splits for the Reds, they've really done it head-to-head in their own division. 19-11 against the Central this year. They're 3-3 against the National League West, 4-5 against the East, and 2-1 in interleague play, but 19 wins against their own division already.
Another 1-2, and this time he struck him out.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by the Illinois Lottery Mega Millions. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $12 million.
We have good news on Jeff Baker, who had to leave the game yesterday in the 8th inning with some vision problems. He couldn't see out of his right eye. Had some tests done at the hospital, and essentially it was an ocular migraine, something Mark DeRosa had dealt with when he was a Cub. And I talked to Jeff today. He went about 45 minutes without really being able to see anything out of his right eye. He said when the vision came back, that's when his head started to hurt. And that can oftentimes be a sign of something very serious. So it's good he got it checked out, and he is available today if needed. And he came out, Mike Fontenot came in, and then in the bottom of that inning, Fontenot started it with a triple and scored the game-winning run. Tap back to Carpenter, who drops it but has time. He's going to underhand, and Derek is safe. The underhand flip was too high. Pujols had to come off the base, and that's an error on Chris Carpenter.
You take your breaks where you can get them, and this is a huge break for the Cubs right here. The little tapper back to the mound. I think Carpenter maybe was thinking about going to second base, and after he botched the play initially, that underhanded toss was awkward and way above Albert Pujols, who goes up to barehand the ball to keep it from going down into the bullpen in the right field line.
Cardinals have been a pretty decent defensive club. And that goes hand in hand with your pitching. Not a big surprise that they would play good defense. See if the Cubs can take advantage here. Ball one to Ramirez.
We talked about Skip Schumacher making the shift from the outfield to second base, and Cardinals second in the National League in double plays turned with 50 already this season.
Two and 0 on Ramirez, who walked his first time up. Carpenter did not fly with the team. He went ahead of time as they were expecting to get in pretty late last night / early this morning. And that was a smart move on his part. Cardinals took BP today too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Even after getting into their hotel at 3 a.m. 10.5 hours before the first pitch. 3-1.
I'm sure there are probably a few guys on this Cardinals roster that probably wouldn't have gotten to bed any sooner than that anyway here in Chicago.
I think that's safe to say with most teams coming to this great city. 3-2.
I think Tony La Russa feels like most managers at that first game of a series, it's really important to get your players on the field. You mentioned the Cardinals' first trip into here to Wrigley this year. Get out there on the infield, see what kind of bounces the infield takes, check the wind, shake off some of the cobwebs from that late night last night, and try to get after it.
Runners not going this time. Into the hole. Ryan with the flip. And they're going to get two. So Bob mentioned their penchant for turning the double play. And that was impressive. 5-0 Cardinals after 3.
.com or call 773-248-ROOF.
Top of inning number 4, 5-0 Cardinals. They got those runs immediately in the first inning. 6 hits, 5 runs to chase Randy Wells. It was the first time the Cubs had allowed at least 6 consecutive hits to begin a game since August 5th of 1975 at Philadelphia. And they gave up 8 in a row as Fukudome retires Chris Carpenter.
Kosuke had him played perfectly, shading him a little bit toward that right field line and shallow, able to get over there in good shape and make a catch on that humpback line drive.
Ball 1 on Lopez. Has spent some time on the DL this year with a right elbow injury. Just outside. Right-hander Jeff Stevens is up, not because James Russell hasn't been effective. He has been extremely effective, but he's kind of getting into uncharted territory. Starting his 4th inning of work.
Now, this is the kind of day, Len, that occasionally will cause a team to have to make a roster move after a ball game.
A base hit over the leaping Starlin Castro.
You're forced to get more innings out of a bullpen than you anticipated. You maybe have to extend a guy or two past what they've done in the past. And in some of those instances, you need to reach down to the minor league level and get a healthy arm up here for the next day's game.
Cardinals will make a move tomorrow. They will bring up Adam Ottavino to make his major league debut. He's going to be in Kyle Loesch's spot. Ottavino is a right-hander. He'll face Carlos Silva. On Sunday, you have Adam Wainwright and Ryan Dempster. Snap throw to first. Lopez back. The Blackhawks Bluesmobile parked at the corner. Bucks will start the Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow night, hosting the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't know if that Bluesmobile will ride through a mall on its way to the game tomorrow night or not. James Russell, Bob, is getting really close to the end of his day. Those pitches he had thrown all year, just over 30. He's up around 50 in this one. Again, using him today, he probably won't be available tomorrow, and the longer you use him today, the more likely you wouldn't use him the whole weekend after this. That's the thing, I think, when you talk about pitch counts and how long you use guys out of their normal role, it's not so much about today. In fact, it's really not about today, because there may be fans going, why would you take Russell out? He's getting people out. And hopefully this is not the case, but the concern is the longer you go with a guy like Russell, a short reliever, on a day like this, over the course of the next month, it might affect his results and his performance. That's what you want to avoid at all costs. Not easy to do on a day like this. It's going to hold up, and Marlon Byrd will catch it. The diving plays, made a few of those this season. 2 down.
Well, we talked to Marlon in spring training, and Andrew Jones was a big mentor of his early in his career. He kind of modeled his game after Andrew Jones. And Andrew Jones and Marlon Byrd, for my money, the 2 best center fielders I've ever seen making that particular play. That sinking line drive straight in front of them. Able to leave their feet, make that play. That was outstanding. I can't describe how good that catch is. That is not easy. Marlon makes it look easy.
One strike on Pujols. 2-run single in the first, a walk in the second. Outside.
I mean, you'll see a lot of center fielders come in on a similar ball and go feet first and try to make the catch and then block the ball with their body. But Marlon sells out completely. He's committed. He's going to catch that ball, dives head first. If it doesn't get in that glove, it's going to roll all the way to the vines. But he knows which ones he can get to and which ones he needs to back off of.
Kick and the pitch. Pujols pops it up. Derek Lee makes the play. Didn't look like Terrio had a good beat on it with the sun. So the Blackhawks Bluesmobile. Watch out for it in the area. 5-0 Cardinals. First inning, that's been it for the run scoring. Not the kind of day you want to get down early against Chris Carpenter. Curveball strike. 1-2.
And we saw that pop up to the right side to end the top half of the 4th inning. I don't think Ryan Theriot ever saw it. Derek Lee battled like crazy to make the play. The sun is obviously a factor here in the day game today, especially for the guys on the right side of the field. That's a scary feeling when you're a defender and the ball goes up and you lose it immediately in the sun. And you're just hoping you find it sometime before that ball comes back down.
Boy, Lopez, normally when you back up like he did, the ball kicks away from you, but Lopez was able to field it cleanly. You get in that in-between mode, right?
Oh, yeah. A lot of times you end up stabbing at the ball. Your hands become very stiff when you do this, but Lopez kind of cradled that ball and throws across in plenty of time to get Soriano over there at first base.
Swing and a miss by Marlon Byrd, who is scuffling right now. He's 4 for his last 33 after that second inning strikeout. Average still at 304. We want to send out happy 80th birthday wishes to Lou Robin, the longtime manager, the great Johnny Cash, watching on WGN America. We have corresponded with Lou over the years. Happy 80th. In on Bird, barehanded play, and the out. Brendan Ryan has made 2 excellent defensive plays in this one. Marlon not so sure of the call by Hunter Wendelstedt.
Yeah, Marlon got jammed, hit that slow roller to short. That's a great play by Brendan Ryan. Oh, man. Nice play. Bad call. And you notice Marlon Byrd does something that all base runners should do. When he got to first base, he was leaning forward, very much like a sprinter in the Olympics, leaning for that finish tape. It gives the illusion that your body's over the base when perhaps it isn't.
Soto lines out to Ludwig just like that. A 1-2-3 inning. 5-0 after 4. Now time for the 5th inning, brought to you by Subway. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win 5 $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Here's veteran righty Bob Howry. He's been back in the Cubs fold for about a week after being released by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Facing Matt Holliday here in the fifth. Some games, like yesterday's Cubs 1-0 win, are decided in the 8th inning. Others, like potentially today, and the Cubs hope that's not the case, can be decided in the 1st inning. Holliday flies out, 1 away in the 5th.
The 2010 Chicago Cubs baseball season on WGN is brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime.
There's Colby Rasmus. How about the job James Russell did? 2 hits, no runs in 4 strong innings of work.
Brought some sanity back to the ball game. Put up zeros. At least give the Cubs a chance. Usually when we talk about a pitcher giving the team a chance to win a ball game, you're referring to the starting pitcher. But in the case of James Russell today, coming out of the bullpen in the 1st inning, pitching 4 scoreless, did an outstanding job.
1-1 on Rasmus. Carlos Zambrano and Carlos Marmol in the bullpen. The question is, will Z get on the mound today? I have a feeling he will. Probably try to save Marmol. Depending on the game situation, he struck out the side yesterday. Talking about Carlos Marmol. Looks like he's got one of those mouthpieces that a lot of pro athletes are starting to wear. I guess it releases tension in your jaw or something. I don't know. One of the Cubs was showing me the pamphlet yesterday.
That's the theory. Either that or he's just checking out a mouthpiece because he's seen all the Blackhawks wearing it.
Howry's 2-2, golfed foul off to the left. We won't fake it because I did this before the game. I asked you who was leading the majors in home runs. I didn't know it till I looked it up. But Jose Bautista, the former Pirate, has 15 home runs for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Think anybody in Toronto knows that?
So if you're going out with your buddies tonight, you might win some money with that one.
Might win you a beer.
Played mostly at third base and right this season for the Jays. Deep to right for Rasmus. Fukudome is back, and it's going to be right at the base of the wall. Rasmus will have a double. His 2nd hit today.
Look on Colby Rasmus. He's a low ball hitter. There's your evidence right there. That pitch was about halfway between his ankles and his kneecaps, and he golfed it off the wall in right field for a double. That's pretty much standard for most left-handed hitters. They like that ball down. For whatever reason, it's just right in the middle of their swing. Those pitches on the inner third and down around the knees are a little lower.
Molina batting with a runner in scoring position. He doubled home 2 with a double in the 1st. I think the big story in baseball right now is what is going on with the Philadelphia Phillies. They were shut out in an entire 3-game series in New York. They have been shut out 4 out of the last 5 games. Bob, it's rare to see any team, not to mention one of the best offenses in the game today, to be shut out in a 3-game series. Fukudome going back on this one. He will get there. And Rasmus went back to tag, and he'll get to third. I guess it just tells you that's baseball, right?
That's baseball. You run into some hot pitchers when you're not swinging the bats particularly well. Breaks don't go your way. The calls don't go your way. And before you know it, you get shut out in a 3-game series. The good news for the Phillies, they're still 6 games over 500 in first place by a game and a half going into play today.
And they're at Florida tonight. Kyle Kendrick and Chris Volstad, the scheduled starters. Ball 1 to Skip Schumacher. Inside corner, a strike. We got an email from Christina and Robert McCormick, who moved from Chicago to Western Australia a year and a half ago, but they're watching us. Got a 10th birthday wish to Elijah McCormick down in Australia. Happy birthday. It is 5-0 Cardinals, game 1 of this 3-game series. We're midway in the 5th. Chris Carpenter working with a 5-0 cushion. And Starlin Castro fouls it off. Very windy day, the wind blowing in, but it didn't stop the Cardinals from knocking Randy Wells out of the game before he could even record an out. Fastball strike, 0-2. By the way, Wells' ERA in his 10th start today went from 3.99 to 4.79. So it went up 0.8 of a run. The strange thing is, over his first 10 starts, In 8 of them, he didn't allow any first inning runs. In 2 of them, he allowed 10 combined. Just had those 2 bad ones at Pittsburgh and then today. And he was really hard on himself after that start in Pittsburgh. Swing and a miss. Castro strikes out. Cub fans, if you want to manage the game along with Lou, log on to WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and info while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio and play sets, hot tubs, and more. Cubs hopefully won't have to ask anybody out on Waveland to come in and pitch later. But we will see Jeff Stevens in the 6th. Bob Howery with a scoreless 5th, and Tyler Colvin, who won the game yesterday, in a pinch hitting role today.
Well, it's been remarkable that Tyler Colvin has been able to keep his average up above the 300 mark with the sporadic playing time that he's received. A lot of it is pinch hitting appearances, coming in late in the ball game for defense, getting in at bat in that fashion. Pinch hitters for the Cubs have been outstanding over the last 6 games.
And those numbers do not include the Fontenot and Colvin hits yesterday because they were already in the game on defense, but they were their first at bats. So we'll call that the PPH, the pseudo pinch hit.
Oh. See, I don't. Oh, an SPH.
Come on, we stay at the Fister. In Milwaukee starts with a P, so you should be good with the silent consonants. High and deep to right. Ludwig back, and it will go. Tyler Colvin with a pinch hit home run. So the Cubs are on the board. It's 5-1.
Time to take a look at the BMW drive of the game. Guess what? Tyler Colvin stays red hot off the bench for Lou Piniella, driving this ball deep into the right field bleachers. Wind didn't affect that one at all. Only BMW offers ultimate service. Buy a BMW now and pay 0 maintenance costs for 4 years or 50,000 miles, whichever comes first.
A little life here.
Cubs are going to have to figure out a way to play 4 outfielders.
And how do you do that? You mean at the same time?
At the same time, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question for Tyler Colvin to struggle offensively because of the sporadic playing time, because of the infrequent at-bats, but it doesn't seem to matter how long he sits on that bench. When he gets up to the plate, he puts the barrel of the bat on the ball and makes something happen.
Now the question is, this kind of different type of game here, does he stay in? We're not used to seeing him pinch hit in the 5th inning.
Well, it really kind of depends on how many innings Lou wants to get out of Jeff Stevens, the next relief pitcher coming in out of the bullpen. If you want to get multiple innings out of Stevens, you'll probably double switch with whoever makes the last out in this inning.
And you have infielders at the moment, Terrio, Lee, and Ramirez.
Obviously, you'd like to leave Derek Lee in the game if possible because of the power potential. Same thing with Aramis Ramirez, although not quite so much this year. The easy thing would be if Ryan Terrio would happen to make the last out here. It appears he's going to. Got a couple of infielders you could plug in there at second base.
So Colvin puts the Cubs on the board with a pinch hit home run. It's 5-1 St. Louis. play. Carlos Zambrano hanging with the soccer star Ronaldinho. In town with AC Milan. They're taking on the Chicago Fire on Sunday, so he's showing him. Trying to throw a changeup, fastball, and a slider. You know what? Just flip it up there.
Yeah,
it's all right. Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T, rethink possible.
He just laid the baseball on the mound and kicked it to home plate.
These boats are probably moving pretty fast on this very windy afternoon. New pitcher is Jeff Stevens. Brendan Ryan off to a very slow start, but he had a big day yesterday in San Diego. 4 hits, including his first home run. 0 for 2 today, but he's made 2 excellent defensive plays. Low and outside. 2-1. I want to send out best wishes to retired TV executive Bob Wussler, watching today on WGN America in Connecticut. Outside, it's full. Garrett Whittles, the sophomore infielder at Florida International, did get a hit yesterday. 50-game hitting streak, 5-0, 8 games away from the D1 record set by Robin Ventura in 1987. Derek Lee with a nice reach and catch in foul territory.
Derek looking right up into that bright afternoon sun, wind pushing that ball ever closer to the tarp over there in right field, but able to stay with it to make the play.
I guess FIU's in its conference tournament, and as I see on MLB.com, it's now to 51. Got another hit today as they play another elimination game.
I would assume FIU is like a lot of the other college programs. They probably play a number of doubleheaders throughout the season, so you got to get hits in 2 games in one day.
Yeah, if they win, if they beat South Alabama, they'll play Florida Atlantic later. If not, he'll have to wait until next year to keep it alive. The 2-2 to Carpenter, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Hey, Lynn, Diana Dale from Kelowna, Illinois, is today's Hit the Jackpot with Powerball contestant. If the Cubs hit a home run in the next inning, Diana Dale will win 100 chances to win the Powerball jackpot, and Saturday's jackpot is worth $220 million.
Lopez hits it foul. Good to see Jeff Baker back in the dugout with that migraine that affected his vision yesterday, but He is available if needed today.
I watched Jeff Baker go through his pregame routine today, and if you didn't know he had issues yesterday, you would have never guessed it watching him go about his business today.
Just missed. Trying the backdoor curveball. It's almost like the Cardinals just kind of carried over their batting practice into the first inning. And then after 6 batters, that's really been it. They've had just a handful of hits since, but no runs. Called strike 3. Jeff Stevens with a 1-2-3 6th. It's 5-1 St. Louis. .10. Get me over breaking ball from Chris Carpenter to Derek Lee. Derek struck out looking in the first, reached on an error in the third. 0 for 2 officially. One and two. As is normally the case when the Cubs are home, this is the only matinee in baseball. Everything else on this Friday is later tonight. Chris Carpenter fan?
That's a balk. You're not allowed to go to your cell phone on the mound.
Oh, which one's the real Chris Carpenter?
The one wearing the road jersey, I would guess.
Yeah, you can't wear wristbands either when you're pitching. Called strike 3 for the second time today. Derek frozen.
And Bud Light rocks Chicago with the return of the Bud Light Concert Series. Tim McGraw is playing the First Midwest Bank Amphitheater in Tinley Park. June 26th is the date. Get your tickets at livenation.com. The Summer Concert Series is brought to you by Bud Light. Live music and Bud Light. Here we go.
Caught the corner on Ramirez. last 2 years, Chris Carpenter is 13-1 against the NL Central. And that's big, as you were discussing some of the intra-divisional records. Boy, with the unbalanced schedule, it is imperative you beat your rivals. Not going to show his or her face, just the hair, apparently. This could be trouble. It's going to drop. Ramirez on his way to second. He will slide in safely with a bloop double that Ryan Ludwig simply couldn't see in the sun.
You could tell that was trouble right off the bat. Schumacher going out from his second base position. Ludwig coming in from right field. I don't think either Cardinal defender had a good look at that baseball. It drops in front of Ludwig out there in right field, and Ramirez hustling out of the batter's box ends up with a double.
Had 3 more pop-ups behind the second base position. Cued right back to the pitcher. Ramirez has to hustle back to second. It's up to Marlon Byrd. Looked like he beat out a ground ball to short his last time up, but he was called out. A pretty intriguing matchup tonight. It's to get a couple of guys facing one another, kind of trying to revive their careers. Ben Sheets and Dontrell Willis, Oakland and Detroit. Marlon Byrd hit another ball hard. It's going to go 1-4-3 as Carpenter kept it out of center. 5-1 Cardinals. Home run in the 5th for the only Cubs run. Visit your Honda dealer. Test drive a 2010 Honda CR-V. So we get into the 7th. Ludwig, Pujols, Holiday versus right-hander Jeff Stevens. The bullpen hasn't given up anything. 1 pitch, 1 out. Bears tight end Greg Olson will conduct the 7th inning stretch today. Strike one on Albert Pujols. Bounced in front of home plate. I'm going to ask you a very difficult question to answer. That's why I'll ask it. If you were starting a team tomorrow, you could only pick one guy. Would you take Albert Pujols or Joe Mauer? MVP from last year from each league.
Well, that's a tough one.
It is.
I might have to trade that first pick for about 27 prospects. I mean, I'm a little partial to the catchers because of the demands of the position behind the plate, the bonus that you get from any offense from the catcher's position. But I don't know how much longer Joe Mauer is going to catch, to be honest with you.
Russell, Howery, and Stevens.
How about this? I'll take both of them and give you the next 20 picks.
No, that wasn't an option. Blowing inside on Matt Holliday. Who knows? Somebody out there, Bob, might be partial to Evan Longoria. Outstanding third baseman of the Tampa Bay Rays. What a pick by Derek Lee. They're going to get Holliday 3-1. Greg Olson leading the stretch.
Chicago Bears tight end Greg Olson.
Bottom of the seventh, Giovanni Soto takes a strike from Chris Carpenter. Great to have with us Bears tight end Greg Olson. This is old hat for you now, right? Seeing the seventh inning stretch.
Feel like a pro.
Fly ball to deep center, and it's going to be caught by Colby Rasmus. Well, it's a practice mode right now, mini camp mode for the Bears, but you have a new offensive coordinator. How are things going, Greg?
Everything's going good. We just finished our 3-day mini camp last weekend. Had 2 days, so we got a lot of work in. I think guys feel good coming out of it with the progress we made, and we have this week off to kind of relax a little bit, and then we start back up for the rest of the summer on Tuesday.
How thick is that playbook?
I've
heard stories.
It's pretty thick. You know, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of detail and nuances of the offense, but once you get it down, it makes a lot of sense, and I think guys are doing a good job handling it.
A lot of plays to the tight end?
We hope so. Yeah. I do, at least. But, yeah, everything's gone good so far. You know, I'm looking forward to the season, you know, kind of some new energy and a new year to kind of clean up what happened the last couple seasons. So I think guys are excited.
Out into short right, a base hit for Starlin Castro, snapped and 0 for 17. There's some Greg Olson highlights. That's where you like to be, the end zone.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
Just how about your relationship with the quarterback, Jake Cutler?
Yeah, you know, it's gotten good. We got off to a good start last year, and we were able to, you know, connect a few times for some touchdowns and get it going. But obviously it wasn't enough. You know, we were expecting bigger and better things than we had last year, and I think that's pretty safe to say for the entire team. So we're looking forward to a new season, and I think guys are really genuinely excited.
Here's Mike Fontenot hitting in the pitcher's spot. We're going to see Carlos Zambrano in the 8th. Yadier Molina will head out to the mound.
Hi, Greg. I know most baseball players view spring training as a necessary evil, something you have to do to get ready for the regular season. And I would assume because of the beating you guys take that you probably look at the training camp the same way.
Yeah, it is. It's never easy. It's never real fun, but it's just something that you just come to terms that it's necessary to prepare yourself physically and mentally for a long season. There's a lot of work that has to be done to be ready for that opening game, and training camp is just kind of the last piece of the puzzle before preseason starts to kind of end all the practices and get ready for the real games.
Left-hander Dennis Reyes up for St. Louis. Fouled back by Fontenot. You had a fundraiser last night, correct?
Yep. Yeah, last night we had an awesome event at Joe's Bar, benefiting my foundation, Reception for Research. We had over 850 people show up. It was a music festival starring Darius Rucker, and it was an amazing turnout. We didn't really expect that many people. Couldn't really fit many more in, so we were really excited. It was a nice way to kick off the weekend.
I know pretty much all the Cubs view it this way, and you do too, that you take your celebrity status very seriously and recognize that you can do a lot of good with that.
That's exactly how we feel. We feel we have a platform that we're very fortunate to have and use it for good things. And last night was a prime example of one of those opportunities that we have as athletes in this city, which really embrace their athletes and really stand behind them. And the support that we had last night was amazing. And I can't thank everybody enough who came on out.
I think of all the major sports teams, there is a lot of support. We've seen Blackhawks players out here this week. They have a rather big weekend coming up.
Yeah, we had a bunch of them show up at the event last night. We probably had 10 of them show up and had a good time, and I was real excited for them to come support the event. I've been to a lot of the playoff games, and they've it was nice of them to come out last night. I'm looking forward to the series tomorrow.
So I'm supposed to ask you about T.O. I'll just let you run with it.
That seems to be the question. Everyone really got excited. Sunday night, me and Jay, a couple of guys were out. We just got out of minicamp, and we were just out having a good time eating dinner, and we happened to bump into him and caught up with him a little later in the night, and that was the complete extent of it. And people got word of it, and it kind of, how it spreads like wildfire.
For the Twitter generation, right?
Exactly. Instant media. So that was the extent of it. It was pure just coincidence that we ran into each other.
Oh, you're talking And veteran lefty Dennis Reyes, who's given up a measly 4 hits in over 16 innings. Although look at the walks to strikeouts. That's not where he wants it. As he faces Kosuke with 2 outs and a runner on.
Now Reyes has held lefties to an .083 batting average. That's 2 for 24. Righties have banged him around to the tune of an .087 average, 2 for 23.
Bob, I think in some ways it's the curse of being Chris Carpenter. He could give up 2 runs, but left giving up 1. I thought he was just okay today. Most guys would take 6 2/3, 1 run every time out. The results were there. You kind of felt like the Cubs had their chances. Well, they had it played perfectly, and Ryan is going to beat Fontenot to second base. Fukudome hit it on the ground right at the Cardinals shortstop. Still 5-1 after 7.
Gear including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source. The Cubs.com shop accepts no substitute.
12th relief appearance for Carlos Zambrano as a reliever, a 4.76 ERA. As a starter, 1-2 with a 7.45, but he had that bad one on opening day. Then probably the next week he will be back in the rotation. Cubs have not said who will go out of the rotation. The 1-1 to Colby Rasmus, way outside, 2-1.
I would imagine that the Cubs have an idea of how the rotation is going to look when Carlos Zambrano comes back, but as is the case with almost all the decisions you make in this game, you wait until the last possible minute to make it. You don't have to decide right now. Next week when Carlos is reinserted into that starting rotation, only then will the decision be made.
The kick, the 2-2, he got him.
Four-seam fastball right on the outside corner at the knees from Big Z. Kind of sprints off that mound. I think he lost his balance a little bit at the very end of his delivery. Tumbling off that right side of the mound, but a good first out of the inning here.
It's been a while. 1 week, in fact. between a sim game and a quick trip to the hospital to check on some abdominal pain yesterday, but everything was fine. The 0-1 outside to Molina. Probably heard Jason Carr from the Cubs media relations staff in the background. 39,536 in the ballpark today. Three and one. Barely missed, ball 4. Schumacher 0 for 3. Will bat for the 4th time today. Normally you wouldn't even think twice about this, but Tony going with the pitcher 9th today as Soriano lays out. Nicely done by Alfonso Soriano. He and Marlon Byrd each with a diving catch today.
Yeah, Fonzie taking inventory out there, making sure all the body parts are where they're supposed to be. That's a real nice running grab. Once again, the wind knocking that ball down to left field. Outstanding tumbling catch in left by Soriano.
2 outs. It's Brendan Ryan. Marlon liked it. Ryan has hit 9th this season on occasion. And Tony La Russa has decided to hit the pitcher 8th. But he hasn't done it in a while. Runner going, and he will get second without a throw. Yadier Molina with 6 stolen bases. Might be, I'll have to double check, he might be tied for their team lead with 6.
Colby Rasmus had 6 in 10 attempts going into play today. That does tie the catcher Molina for the team lead. He just took advantage of Carlos Zambrano not paying any attention to him over there at first base. He was off and running while Carlos was still standing on the rubber.
The 1-2. Ryan stays alive. Another little tweak to the lineup. It only happened for 5 straight games. In the middle of this month was Albert Pujols was out of the 3 spot and put in the cleanup position for the first time in over 1,000 games. He's been back in there for a week in the 3 spot. 1 bouncer to Terrio. He'll throw out Ryan, and that's the inning. Scoreless 8 for Zambrano. Getting late. Cubs trail by 4. Cubs got one in the 5th on a pinch hit home run by Tyler Colvin. Right-hander Kyle McClellan facing Ryan Theriot, a foul strike. It's a nifty beard for Kyle McClellan. That has the look of the Burl Ives snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Those claymation figurines or whatever. Remember that? Oh, ow. Theriot got drilled and it hurt. You hope it got muscle and not bone. See where it got him.
Oh, all rib cage. A lot of hitters will drop that lead arm down and try to protect their rib cage, but Ryan took one off the elbow not too long ago. That's a tender area as well, so he didn't want to take the brunt of that one off the elbow, and unfortunately caught him right in the rib cage.
Maybe took his breath away. Hopefully that's it. They're going to check to make sure everything's intact before allowing Ryan to continue on. Mark O'Neill is out there.
He's a third hit batsman for McClellan this season in just over 21 innings of work.
Did you just see what Albert did? He's like, hey, you're okay. He kind of tapped him on the chest, and Ryan said, thanks. I appreciate that. Ball 1 to Derek Lee. Watch this. I don't think it was meant. Oh. Ow. Ball 2, so McClellan having trouble throwing strikes. Dave Duncan, their longtime pitching coach, is coming out.
Well, McClellan does tend to pitch inside with his four-seam fastball to set up his cutter. He also throws a curve, occasional straight changeup, but he uses that four-seamer inside to the righties and then tries to cut the fastball away from him.
Dave Duncan in his 31st year as a major league pitching coach. That is an all-time record.
Dave Duncan, a rarity, a catcher who has excelled as a pitching coach at the major league level.
Three balls, no strikes. Three and one.
Oh, another one of those. That was a cookie right there. A 3-0. I'm just going to guide this one up there in the middle of the plate, try to get back in the count.
Shot, and Ryan just slowed it down. I think he might have caught that if he had more time. Just couldn't get his glove up in time, and it's a base hit for Derek Lee. Don't miss your chance to be part of the brand new PNC Club of Chicago. The new club, located down the third base line, offers high-end catering, a top-shelf bar, indoor and outdoor seating, and other benefits that allow for a truly all-inclusive game day experience. Membership also includes parking for every home game. To reserve your season tickets in the PNC Club of Chicago, call 773-404-4200.
A little bit of a breakthrough there for Derek Lee against Kyle McClellan. He had been 0 for 8 lifetime with 6 strikeouts against the Cardinals right-hander. He stroked that one into left field nicely.
2 on, nobody out. Time called as McClellan took his time before the pitch. That will be it.
Well, that was the reason for all the pickoff throws to first base, just trying to give Jason Mott down there in the bullpen a little extra time to warm up. Apparently Tony does not like what he's seeing from Kyle McClellan today.
2 on, nobody out. We're in the 8th, and we'll be right back. Ramirez against right-hander Jason Mott. Called strike. 94 on the fastball. Seems to be a Cardinal bullpen thing with the full beard. Lots of little quirky. He's kind of fun to watch get ready to pitch.
Pitching in his 3rd day in a row, through 2/3 of an inning a couple of nights ago, an inning last night in San Diego, and back out on the bump here today.
That beard's not real, is it? Fly ball to deep left, but he just didn't get it. And it's caught by Holiday for the out.
Good trajectory, just didn't make that sound off the bat. Looked like Mott might have gotten in on Aramis Ramirez just enough to take the carry out of that baseball.
Jason Mott's got one of those 6-month beards. It's not one you grow in 2 weeks. The pitch to Soriano. Ball 1.
You're not going to see Jason Mott come into the ball game and try to finesse anybody, that's for sure. His number 1 pitch is that fastball in the mid to upper 90s. He'll occasionally try to snap off a curveball, but doesn't really have much command of it.
96 but low. 2 balls, no strikes. Marlon Byrd on deck. And Fouts, Jason Mott with a pitch. Were you okay with lots of facial hair when you managed? You didn't care, right?
Didn't really care. As long as a guy is not out there grooming himself during the ball game. There was a time very early on when I thought that, haircuts and shave. I quickly came to realize it doesn't really matter if you wear your hair in pigtails. If you can hit and you can pitch, you can play for me.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if those Cardinals relievers keep those thick, bushy beards as it starts to warm up and get humid down there by the river this summer.
The kick and the 2-2. 98, but out of the zone. Fans are getting up for a 3-2 pitch. Runners not going. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Passion country hardball. Here's my best fastball. Hit it if you can. Just below the belt to Alfonso Soriano. It's a little late that time.
Jason Mott is a converted catcher. He began the conversion to the mound in 2006. Was late. Mott goes to his mouth, then to his pants, grabs his hat, wipes his beard, rubs his face. He just can't sit still. Late swing, 99 that time.
I don't think the idea of a breaking pitch has even crossed his mind yet in this ball game. All fastballs so far, all in the mid to upper 90s.
Some late inning relievers have a very calm demeanor, but not Jason Mott.
You wonder if it might not serve you well as a hitter to step out of the box on him a couple times, slow him down a little bit, get him out of his rhythm.
That was the first non-fastball in that sequence, and Marlon Byrd is livid with Mike Winters. 5-1 as we go to the ninth.
encounter you will never forget. Now at the Field Museum, Sue's Escape. For tickets and more info, go to suesescape.com.
Xavier Nady is in as a defensive replacement. Not something you'll see a whole lot, but the team is trailing. And he will go into the 9th spot, so he'll get an at bat in the 9th as John Grabo comes in, took that one off the hip as Nick Stavanoa, pinch hitter, finds his way on. That's an infield single, and they're going to check on John Grabo. That stung him.
Looked like it got him on the left hip. Ricochets over to the right side of the infield. Maybe got him right in the wallet, which would be the best of all possible options right there.
So Lopez batting, 1 on, nobody out, and it's outside.
Well, a promising inning for the Cubs there in the bottom of the 8th. The first 2 runners reached, but it ends on this pitch to Marlon Byrd, a cut fastball well off the outside corner, a called strike 3 by Mike Winters. You don't see Marlon react like that very often.
That's high. It's 2-1. Their closer is Ryan Franklin. And it will not be a save opportunity. 2-2. He can create one for somebody else, but he can't get one. Lazy fly ball, and again the sun and the wind today creating a little havoc as Castro made it look easy.
Castro reminds me a little bit of former Cubs shortstop John Dunston. John Dunston used to think every pop-up that went up was his, and he had that kind of speed and that kind of range that he caught most of it. Starlin Castro can really get out there in medium depth outfield on those pop-ups on days like this with the wind blowing in.
Well, you feel, Bob, when you look at Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan, like they've probably had the exact same conversation about 8,000 times. They've been together so long.
Yeah, every day is Groundhog's Day. I mean, the names may change for the opposition, but the situations rarely do in this game of baseball.
They're different team for Dave Duncan to be on Tony's staff. White Sox in Oakland as well. Swing and a miss. Foul tip, actually a foul. 2-2. And Ludwig. Cubs bullpen with 7 1/3 scoreless. Actually 8 1/3 after that first inning in which the starter didn't get an out. Nady back and out of room. So the first runs given up by the Pen today come in the 9th inning as Ryan Ludwig hits his 7th homer of the season, and it's 7-1. Cardinals' first homer of the day.
Main Street fastball that time, right down the middle of the plate. Ludwig hit it high enough in the air. I thought the wind might have some effect on it, but he had just enough to get it into the front row of the bleachers out there in straightaway left field.
And with that, I don't think we're going to see Ryan Franklin.
Franklin pitched 2 innings in an extra inning game a couple of nights ago in San Diego. He did not pitch in the ball game last night, but with the 6-run lead, they're going to go to the young kid.
Fernando Salas is up as Pujols grounds out. So he's getting set with a 6-run lead.
Salas was the closer down at AAA Memphis, had 7 saves in 19 games down there.
And it'll be his major league debut in the bottom of the 9th. Here's a 1-1 ground ball. Ramirez can't get it, but Castro does in the backhand, and a strong throw to get at Holiday. 2-run homer by Ryan Ludwig, who's had a lot of success in this ballpark over the years. 7-1. Major league debut. He replaced Kyle Loesch on their active roster. He's from Mexico, and in fact had his contract purchased by the Cardinals from the Mexican League back before the 2007 season. And his first major league pitch, I'm sure he's been thinking about it for a long time, was a strike to Giovanni Soto. Ground ball to third base, picked up by Felipe Lopez. 1 out. Getting the pool ready as the unofficial start of summer is this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. No diving into that pool, though.
No, thank you. And watering the concrete there, trying to grow a little more sidewalk.
Strike one on Castro.
Sounds like Salas is a strike thrower. At least he was at the AAA level at Memphis. Pitched 8 2/3 innings down there. Had 19 strikeouts against only 4 base on balls.
He turns 25 on this Sunday. .62", 200 pounds. Low and inside, 2-1. Foul tip to make it 2-2. (7-1) Cardinals in the ninth. 5 in the first, 2 in the ninth. Cubs got their run in the fifth. Carlos Silva will take a 6-0 record into tomorrow afternoon's game against Adam Ottavino, who will make his Major League debut. Lopez again. And Pujols couldn't stay on the base. The error will be on the third baseman, Lopez. It's at least the third time Castro has reached on an error in his young career.
First error of the season for Felipe Lopez, and now his 25th game of the season. Threw a sinker across the diamond that pulled Pujols way off the bag. That's why you run them all out.
First at bat for Nady. Called strike.
Excuse me. We've seen a lot of pitchers that throw the split finger, go for the split finger grip as they're standing there getting their sign, or the change up grip and then change when they get into the glove. It looks like Salas has that spiked curveball grip where the fingertip of the index finger rests on the baseball and then the middle finger kind of wraps around. That's a grip that a lot of pitchers use. Not a lot of pitchers, but some pitchers use for their curveball. A spiked curve, that index finger sticking up in the air. There you see it right there. Fingertip digging into the seams. And then he changes when he goes into the glove when he wants to throw something else. It's a lot easier to go from your most complicated grip to something else than it is to go from your easiest grip to the more complicated grip.
Lined at the shortstop, Ryan, 2 away, and it'll be up to Fukudome. Cubs don't have a runner in scoring position at the moment. They have, however, gone 0 for 8 in those at bats during this game. Runner goes, he'll get second without a throw, will not be credited with a steal. I mentioned that runners in scoring position number because it just seems like, and it's true, the Cubs have had opportunities today to get back into this game. They just haven't capitalized. High fly ball to left. This will do it. Holiday underneath, and the Cardinals get the first of 15 meetings between these two longtime rivals. They jumped all over Randy Wells in the first inning.